we have Mr. Gurpal Khurana, founder and director of Experiences Digital with us. Gurpal Khurana is an expert in creating retail experiences with innovation at the centerpiece. He believes it's right blend of design and technology that enables customer engagement. His company experiences digital as a pro-priority technology which allows brands to stream content in real time to any digital display and capture consumer behavior. He firmly believes that in this dynamic environment, real-time customer analytics becomes an important decision-making tool. He has advised top multinational companies like Coca-Cola, Pernod Ricard, Diageo, and Duty Free India in enhancing their customer experiences. Under this leadership, their company has been awarded a promising startup status by the Ministry of Commerce in India. With much awaited eagerness, let's call him to give a brief on customer engagement and conversion optimization. Yeah, Mr. Gurpal Karuna, the stage is yours.
I'm just after thank you for a quick introduction. Good morning and good afternoon and evening to all of you. My name is Gurpal Khurana. I'm the director in experiences.digital. And like mentioned, I will be talking about customer engagement and conversion optimization. I'm just going to start with a personal experience as a consumer. And I'm just going to share my journey, which forms the basis of how we as consumers make certain decisions. On a personal note, I ended up traveling to Russia for the World Cup, and I just kept on thinking, what were those various decisions I made? What really happened? And the starting point of all those that decision-making process, it was about a perception that brand FIFA is going to be a brilliant event. Then there was this brand under consideration, which was brand Russia. And when I combined the two, the first thing that came to my mind was it'll be a great experience. I started engaging, started finding out about the event, and finally decided this is the experience I want to sign up for. Bought the match tickets, booked my hotels and everything. And my journey continued even after did my booking, everything. I reached Russia. The experience that I was hoping to get far exceeded my expectations, and the venues were brilliantly organized. There were information booths, and what really resulted by the end of the entire trip, if I had budgeted for say X dollars for my trip, I ended up exceeding my spend by 35%. Now that 35% extra money that I spent, at the end of the day, that money was spent somewhere at FIFA events. It was spent somewhere in Russia, and I'm thinking to myself that what led to that increased budget? There were these impulsive buyings I did. I was not thinking how much money I'm thinking, and the reason why I was not really thinking and conscious about my decisions were basically I was having a great time. It was all about a great experience, and I ended up doing what I did. Keeping that, and as consumers, I personally feel it happens to us every day. We make impulsive buys as long as we're experiencing what we're out there to experience. Now I'm gonna talk slightly on Walmart from a brand's perspective. There has been a recent fight, retailing fight between Walmart and Amazon. And when Amazon went through a major growth phase, everybody argued, and there were numerous articles written, everybody argued that brick and mortar will be dead. Everybody had their own opinion, it's lost its relevance. And definitely the growth period of Amazon was at the expense of the brick and mortar company Walmart. Until recently, there is a growing trend that we've seen that uh, somewhere down the line, Walmart as a company started being aggressive in e-commerce, and Amazon as a company started being aggressive on the brick and mortar model. And I kept wondering as to why this is happening. And in fact, it was not only Walmart. Walmart actually acquired a very big e-commerce player in India called Flipkart, and it was not just with Walmart. It was not just with Amazon, and a lot of companies here in India. They started as pure play e-commerce companies and built the brands from there and started building physical stores or physical stores in the country. And this strategy pretty much reinforced my views that it is very very important for any brand to really give this consumer the right experience. Your consumer could be anywhere. It could be, and it's a very challenging environment right now because decisions are being made everywhere now. Whether you're in a taxi, whether you're on a shop in a shopping mall, and it's getting complicated. But one thing, in spite of this complicated world that we are living in, as far as the consumer is concerned, I think one thing is true that as long as you're giving the right experience to the consumer. So I'll basically continue. And so I was basically saying that uh, so they created these two models. Both need to coexist. Retailing and e-commerce need to go hand in hand in order to maximize uh, the conversion rates, the engagement rates. These brands actually realize that it's very important that we need to build the right experiences at the retail level as well. And it's a cross spectrum of companies that we are seeing who are building these kind of retail experiences. You know, I wanted to keep this discussion slightly focused on retail, and using the right technologies and the right experiences at the retail level, because I see a convergence. I see a convergence. Uh, Whatever we are doing in the online world, it is actually converging with the retail environment, uh, and in order to really engage with the customers, the right technologies and the right systems need to be placed even at the retail store levels. There was a study done by WPP that pretty much said that a big part of purchasing decisions are made at the point of sale levels. People are actually doing a lot of research online. They're going to the retail stores and then making a final purchasing decision, and that's the time you can even influence a consumer's decision making process. So what we realized that if we could actually bring the online experience to the purchasing decision, that's where you'll be able to capture the consumer's attention and actually to conversion optimization. One of the big challenges, what we saw, that there were certain things that were communicated on the online platforms, but the minute the consumer walked into the store, there was a totally different story being told by the brands. And hence, somewhere down the line, what a consumer had signed off seeing online assets, walking into the store, the experience that the consumer was getting was not what he had signed up for. And one of the challenges that we saw, that why is it that brands are able to communicate these stories extremely well on their online platforms, and why is it that brands are unable to communicate in the same light with their consumers when he walks into the store? One of the biggest challenges that we saw that at the end of the day, there is this in-store manager who's communicating the brand story to the direct consumer. There seems to be a disconnect between what the brand wants to tell and what the in-store manager is communicating to the consumer. And hence, somewhere down the line, the experience, the engagement, and the conversion optimization that we hope to achieve is really not happening. And what we realize, that it's actually a blend of, whenever we talk about retail spaces, whenever we talk about this challenge, that how do we eliminate this in-store manager, how do we train this in-store manager, how do we train this guy to really communicate the right brand stories to this consumer that has walked in. Uh, we personally thought it was actually a blend of both design and technology when you specifically talk about retail spaces, that that will actually complete the experience to what the consumer saw while he was browsing his assets, while he was on the internet, while he was on the mobile phone, decided to walk into a certain store. How do we complete this journey with the right communication, with the right messaging, and the tools that we thought were important is basically a combination of both design and technology to build these experiences. So just for this conference, we made a live demo of how we hope to bring the online experience to the retail store experience. Um, I would like to actually now share put my camera to this particular dummy unit we've made, and I will basically explain it to you how what is really at play here. Uh, in order to build the right experiences, what we did was say duty free as an environment. There is a passenger who's deboarded the plane, walks into a duty free environment, uh, wants to say make a purchasing decision, maybe buy a liquor or a chocolate or whatever. What we did, we actually went in and mapped the entire environment as to what the environment looked like, how the consumer behaves, what does he touch, what does he feel. We mapped out the complete journey of this consumer. Now, in order to build the right experiences, it's very important to understand how the in-store manager is operating, how the consumer is interacting with the in-store manager. What is it that the brand wants to tell? What story does the brand want to tell this consumer? Which results in probably an engagement with the brand, probably results in sales optimization. Uh, and we designed this dummy unit with keeping those things in mind, and I will tell you how different things are at play right now. First comes the engagement bit. How do I get this guy to look at me? How do I tell him to engage with my brand? So this guy walks in, and we realize that a lot of these brands have a lot of brilliant digital assets in terms of content that they've created, uh, that they are actually using different channels to showcase the content, be it YouTube, be it Instagram, be it various channels that we talk about today. What we did, we amplified that content, same messaging, same communication to the point of sale. So we're trying to bridge the gap between what I'm talking on my online media to what I'm talking on my point of sale assets. So this guy walks in and he starts playing around. So here are the bottles kept. Imagine, for example, let's take Diageo as a brand that has multiple alcohol portfolio as part of their product mix. Say one bottle is a premium gold label bottle, the other is a black label bottle, third is a red label bottle. Um, so what we've done is first taken that content that was available on whatever they're communicating on the online platform, kept it very close to the product that they're selling, so that I'm here, I want to see and interact with the brand of my choice. And I've created, so this content right here plays an important role because they've done various studies. They've got their tasting notes, they've got the perfect blend, uh, very rich content, and every brand has a content specific to that brand. So we integrated all that content there. We designed this asset so that it is in line with the brand's image. This is where the whole designing aspects really came in. So the design was not just designing the right content, look and feel of the content. It was actually also how the physical units that are holding the bottles or holding uh, looks like. It needs to be easily, they could easily pick up and things like that. So that's where the designing really comes in. Where the technology plays a role is, with a click of a button, I could change what I want to do, what I want to say to this guy, and influences 3 seconds of the decision making process. So all these screens are actually connected on the back end, where the brand can stream content in real time, capture what consumer is doing, how he's behaving, and things like that. When I say behavior, it's behavior in terms of, I'll give you an example. Assuming he picks up a gold label bottle, content related to gold label starts playing. Actually, it's not visible. The creative actually says bottle number 3 picked up. So what we did was, I know this consumer picked up a gold label bottle. Why should I show him content of a black label? He should actually be seeing the perfect pour for a gold label. He should be seeing the tasting note for gold label. He should be seeing that if he buys a gold label, he could probably get a black label for a much cheaper price. The minute he picks up a black label bottle, black label based content should start playing. That's the kind of experiences we hope to build. Uh, and if he picks up a red label bottle, the red label content starts playing. Central idea being that what the consumer wants, what the consumer is interested in, understand his journey at that moment, give him the right experience. Uh, I personally feel that Engagement will happen on its own. Consumers would love to interact with the devices, with the brand on their own, and you fulfill the need of the consumer. Your conversion optimization will happen. It's very, very important. And now the tools are available. There are multiple tools. Now you could design this asset in multiple ways. You could design it in, you could keep it in a retail environment with shelves and a screen attached where anybody picks up a certain part of the product. I want to talk to him about that product. I want to understand his journey, understand his taste and preferences, and based on that, start talking to him. And what we hope to achieve are two things. A, we are trying to connect the brand directly to the consumer, relying less on a physical person who doesn't understand the brand language as much as the brand does to themselves, and also have an experience that is merged with the online experience. One of the biggest issues I've personally seen is brands are communicating X on one channel, brands are communicating Y on a different channel in the same media, and when the guy walks in to a store, brands are totally talking a different language. So I personally feel if you could have a platform that is talking a similar language and develop and the brand can develop a very clear cut connect with the consumer at different purchasing decision points, as a customer would like to engage with the brand. Customer would feel that my needs are the brand understands my need, and hence your conversion optimization will follow. So pretty much with that central theme in mind, I would want to conclude this short discussion and conclude it with one central theme, that build the right experience. And once you build the right experience for the brand, I personally think customer engagement, conversion optimization is definitely going to happen. So yeah, I'm done with this presentation of.
Thank you, Mr. Gurpal Khurana, for giving us such a notable information on customer engagement and conversation optimization. And thank you so much, sir, for participating in our Global Digital Marketing Summit 2. And we would like to see you once again for our next event also, sir. Yeah, sir. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you.